Good evening, Sword Family. Welcome to the Teahouse. Sorry, I'm still dealing with this stupid cough that I've had for like 3 weeks now. So, tonight we're finally trying something new. Stash. Pomegranate, raspberry, green tea, and matcha. Sounds interesting, so interesting is definitely a good word for it. Okay. Now, as I said last time, tonight we're going to be discussing some common misconceptions that I have run across being a Buddhist in a majority Mormon state. Before we get into that, let's go and get through some of these comments. Always first person in the door is my lovely Foxy. Good evening and welcome to the Teahouse. Yes. Good evening. Good evening, Carl. Hello, Carl. Poor Donna was worn out and fell asleep. I'm hoping that she set an alarm. Not sure about Dawn either. She was not feeling hot. Oh, I'm sorry. I hope she stops by, but if she doesn't, I completely understand. I just, as Foxy says, we understand how that goes, yeah. Still fighting the stupid cough, yeah. It's been a pain in the ass. And there is the lovely Trey. Evening all. Foxy says, when I do get sick, it takes a while to get over it. And then some. Carl's going to go check on Donna. Be back soon. Foxy greeting Trey. Trey greeting Foxy and Carl. And there is Independent Creator Directory, also known as Joe Bachman, greeting Foxy and Carl. And says hi to Trey from across the living room. Yes. You always must say hello to the wife. Our items are in Denver, Colorado, according to USPS. Well, your stuff is, we just need to get, to the post office, which we won't be doing tomorrow because it's Sunday and Donna's on her way. Good. Thanks for the update. And there is, and Donna. Hey, Foxy, Trey, Joe, and Whitman dude. Nice. Joe greeting Donna and Carl, and time for more pizza rolls. Pizza rolls are weirdly good dunked in barbecue, but it has to be the KFC honey barbecue. Regular barbecue doesn't work. Just like we found that, oh geez, I don't even remember the brand now, but there was a mozzarella stick that was really good in KFC sweet and sour sauce. Yeah. And Trey greeting Donna, and there is Kitty. Hey, sweetie. Glad you could stop by. And Carl greeting Kitty, and Foxy greeting Donna and Kitty. Cool Whip with orange Kool-Aid. Yeah, no comment. And Trey greeting Kitty, and sounds disturbing. I don't know if I'd go with disturbing, but yes, Kool-Aid. Yes. Donna greeting Kitty, and Kitty almost showtime. Yeah. Tastes like sherbet, black cherry. Don't even get me started on black cherry. I have not had a black cherry soda since I found out I was diabetic in 2020. So it's been 4 years since I've had black cherry, and that was like my favorite thing ever. Which is why the black cherry celestial seasonings tea was like my absolute favorite. Sounds delicious. Yes, it does. Sorry. Kooky. Yes. Yes, we are. We are incredibly kooky. And creepy. And spooky. May have to try. And Dan Hollifield stopping in. Good evening. Good evening, Dan. Carl greeting Dan, and Foxy greeting Dan, and Donna greeting Dan, and Trey greeting Dan. Everyone's glad that Dan is here. Joe greeting Dan. Dan greeting everyone. Liked and shared. Yeah. Please like, share, subscribe. You know, I'm horrible at this whole self-promotion thing. Gonna have to get a backdrop for the summer. The light from the patio door is bright. Yeah. We kind of had that issue back in August when I started, but Sweet Baby Ray's is also good for Sweet Baby Ray's is good for anything. That's my like go-to, you know, bottled barbecue sauce. All right, so being a Buddhist amongst Mormons is interesting, to say the least. Now, the first misconception is, in my opinion, actually being a Buddhist, because I don't think pure Buddhism exists anymore. It may never have existed at all. It's always influenced by the area around it. You know, the original Indian Buddhism may have been pure Buddhism. Japanese Zen Buddhism is influenced by Shinto. Chinese Buddhism is influenced by Confucianism and Taoism. So I don't think pure Buddhism exists. But it's easier to just say I'm a Buddhist than to tell people the whole story of how I came to my personal belief system, which I think I've discussed here before, and I don't really think is necessary to go through again. It's just easier if people ask to just say, well, I'm a Buddhist. And then the rest of the stuff comes out. Well, look at that. Alex here. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Yes. Hey, Alec, hope you're doing better. Yes. We've been thinking about you. Trey greeting Alec, and Carl greeting Alec. Everyone's happy that Alec is here as well. So, the first and by far most common misconception that I have run across being a Buddhist is people thinking that we are all like the stereotypical homeless person that you see in movies that's carrying their meager belongings on a stick while they walk across railroad tracks because you're not allowed to have things. That's not it. You're allowed to possess things. And look around. Look at all this stuff. I have a whole apartment worth of stuff. It's not that you can't have things. It's that you can't own things. It's attachment to things. And that in and of itself is the highest form of enlightenment, non-attachment. You're allowed to have whatever you want. You're just not allowed to be attached to your things. And again, that's the highest level of enlightenment. That's what you're striving for. You don't just wake up one day, decide you're a Buddhist, and give away all your shit. That's not how that works. It's something you have to build towards. I have a lot of things. I have a lot of swords. I have a lot of games. I have a lot of movies over there. These are all things that I possess, but I don't own any of them. If someone were to come in right now and ask if they could take things out of my apartment, for the most part, I would be perfectly fine with, yeah, go ahead, take it. I don't care. There are some things that I would have a harder time parting with. Some of the swords that I own were expensive. It would be harder for me to give those things up. So that's the first thing. You know, people thinking that you're not allowed to have things. You can have as much as you want. You just can't own those things. You have to be willing to part with them when the time comes. And Aunt Donna is greeting Alec. Yes. Most of the things in this apartment I could easily part with and have. I used to have a sharp tiger hook sword that I kept giving away. It was a birthday gift. Then it was a, just because gift. And the damn thing kept coming back. So I eventually got to the point where I'm like, okay, this particular sword, there's a reason it keeps coming back to me. And then a couple years ago, I gave it to my old Shifu, and in trade for my spearhead. And so far, it's been over a year and it's no longer coming back. So hopefully this time it's gone away. And Chris is here. Glad you actually could stop by this time. It's nice to see you. And right along with not having things, the next misconception is that we are all heartless and unfeeling, and we don't have emotions. And everyone's greeting Chris because Chris is awesome. Just like with possessions, we have emotion. What we don't do is allow our emotions to own us. emotions have a way of latching on to you. And as Buddhists, we're taught to feel the emotion and then let it pass. However long it takes for that emotion to pass. It's not always instantaneous. But you feel it and then you let it go. My favorite euphemism for emotions as a Buddhist is to think of it like standing in a river. A flowing river. You know, if you try and catch the water, you might get a small handful, but for the most part, it's going to just rush right past you. That's how you have to let your emotions, you feel it, and then you let it pass. It's not always easy. Carl says, control those emotions, understand them, don't let them force your hand. Exactly. Carl is also a Buddhist, so he understands what I'm saying. Something I often struggle with, and people do. Just like with, possessions, you don't just wake up one morning and go, okay, well, now I'm going to just let every emotion roll off my back like water off a turtle. It doesn't happen that way. It can't. People aren't capable of doing that on day one. It's just not possible. Chris is dropping by. Some friends are celebrating 316 Day by dressing up as Stone Cold Steve Austin and behaving like him. Wish me luck and pray for all of us. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, that sounds like a thing. Good luck. Yes. Sounds interesting. Yes. Here's a good example. Tomorrow would have been Foxy and my daughter's 19th birthday. And every year around this time, I start thinking about all the things that she would be doing at this point in her life, Possibly moving out, going to college, bringing home dates. It's been 19 years. And sometimes I still have trouble letting the grief go. It's always there in the back of my mind. But I don't let it control me. I don't let it keep me from being happy for other people. I have frequently talked about my youngest student, my little cousin. She'll be turning 7 in about a month. And earlier this week, last week, I don't remember, she had a little cheerleading competition. And while I was sitting there watching her compete, started thinking about my daughter. And it very easily could have just tanked my entire evening just thinking about, she never got a chance to do these things. And never really got a chance to experience being a child. But instead, I let those thoughts come, and then I let them go. And I enjoyed my night. Does that make me a heartless person? No, not at all. It's just you can't let these things dig in. You have to feel it and then let it pass. And to also go along with that is the misconception that all of us are just miserable bastards who just hate everything. This one really gets on my nerves, honestly. People thinking that just because you're a Buddhist, just because you are not or are working towards not being attached to things, that means that you just hate the world, that you're just biding your time to get to the next life. This could not be further from the truth. I wake up every day enjoying everything that I have. My relationships, my life, everything that I have is a gift. Every day is a gift. It's just you don't let things control what you're doing. Now, this is a good comment. I like this one. Chris says, "You're not heartless. You needed to enjoy the event for the sake of the participants, especially your student." Yes. I was there for her. If she wasn't, participating in the little competition, I wouldn't have been there. And to be there for her, I had to let those thoughts cross my mind. Because if I fought them, if I tried to not think or feel what I was feeling, I wouldn't have been present for her. It would have been spending the entire time I was there fighting the currents of my mind, fighting the feelings that are trying to come out. The fact that she crossed your mind at all proves that you have a heart and still care. And I do. I care about her a great deal. She's 7, so it's not always the easiest thing in the world to, embrace what she is becoming. But I love her to death. Even though she is a walking little germ factory, but that's the case for pretty much every single child, under the age of 12. Many people allow greed, fear, or other emotions rule their lives, and that keeps them from having a good life. Exactly. Those emotions cling to them. I need to have the next big thing. I need to have more money. I need to have more this or more that or less this. Or, fear. Fear is an interesting emotion because it's there for a reason. If you're out at night, it's dark, you hear footsteps behind you. If you just ignore that entirely, and that person does mean you harm, you're screwed. You just are. But if you're afraid and you're alert, you're paying attention. Do the footsteps get faster if I start walking faster? You know, if I turn this way, do they follow me? If you're paying attention because you're afraid, you're ready. Let yourself feel that fear. Let yourself be aware of your surroundings. And then if you were afraid for no reason, you laugh and you move on with your day. Don't fight it. Don't ignore it, but don't let it cling to you. This is the 5-year anniversary of laying my youngest brother to rest. It ends the worst period of the year. February and early March are marked dark times. Yeah. And the really, really shitty part about losing our daughter on that day is it's literally the day after my younger sister's birthday. Today is my sister's birthday. Tomorrow would have been my daughter's. So that birthday is always kind of clouded by grief. I sent her a text this morning saying happy birthday. We're not on the best of terms. It has nothing to do with the loss of my child. It's just, you know, it just is. But I will still send her a happy birthday message every year. And then, you know, the rest of the day I'm thinking about my daughter. You have to be willing to accept that certain emotions are painful. They're going to be painful. And then you allow that emotion to run its course. And you move on with, you know, whatever it is you got going on. Still not sure about that one. Now, the next misconception not only affects, you know, okay, Christians and other religions all have this same misconception. Unless you're actually in the religion, people have a certain image. If they're aware of it. Let's see what our friend Carl has to say. I think that people don't understand that when Buddhists say everything is temporary, that it makes them think that we don't care. Yes, everything is temporary is not saying that we don't care. It's saying the truth. Everything is temporary. Nothing lasts forever. And if things did last forever, it would diminish the beauty of them. And Dawn is here. I'm glad you're here. Hope you're feeling better. But if you're not, It's cool. You know, that's kind of what we're about here tonight, you know? If you're not okay, don't be okay. That is fine. Just because you may not get along great with someone, it doesn't mean that you don't care about them. Yeah. My sister is my sister, you know? We disagree on a lot of things, but I still show her affection when I can. And I can't always do it. Carl greeting Dawn. That is, you're exactly right, Chris. Sleepy. Before, most of the day today has been cloudy, so I've been, yeah. Glad you could make it, yes. Just want to wrap all of you in a hug and give you comfort snacks. Let's not get through the, into the whole food thing again. Yeah. Donna greeting Dawn, and Foxy probably won't be okay tomorrow. And don't be okay. Just don't fight it. Be not okay. Comfort snacks. Yeah, be thinking of you with like space or distraction. That's kind of, it really, it depends on the day. Sometimes I'll wake up on the morning of the 17th and I will want all of the cuddles from anyone who's willing to give it. And other days I'll wake up and just be like, just don't touch me. Go away. I want you to be not here. Speak from experience. Everyone does. Everyone speaks from their own experience. That's kind of the great, the greatness of human existence. Ever have folks ask if you worship Buddha like a god? Yes. And while there is a more nuanced answer to that question, I kind of, depending on who I'm talking to or who I'm interacting with, sometimes I'll just, say yes. It's easier than trying to explain the vast, experience. Sometimes I'll just be like, yes. And that's it. Run into that one. I'm sure a lot of people run into that one. And Chris is greeting everyone. Foxy heard that one too, even though I don't really follow the same path. No one follows the same path as me. We might all get to the same destination, but how we get there is going to be a completely different path. No, you guys are in Mormon territory. Do you have aspects you found with that religion? Not at all. Not even a little bit. I talked about this before. I was, basically forced into the Mormon church because my father didn't want to listen to his older brother bitch that, your middle son, your middle child is 13 and hasn't been baptized yet. What's up with that? Why don't you do this? Why don't you come over here and we'll have this discussion and talk about... No. Leave me alone. I read your book. I read a lot of books. And the truth that I found was in a combination of Buddhism, Taoism, and Confucianism. Mormon doctrine makes no sense to me. It sounds, and if there's any Mormons listening to this, turn it off, because you're not going to be happy with the next thing I say. Book of Mormon sounds like nonsense. It sounds like you're just pulling shit out of your ass. So I just tell them it's more a veneration thing, like Catholics saying it's not a holy thing, and that's fine. That's a good way to look at it. Oh, this one. Oh. They often tell him I'm sorry when he tells them he's not Mormon. Okay. Story time. It was this kid that I knew in high school. I wouldn't consider him a friend. It's something I like to call a satellite friend. You know, someone who's out in the peripheral of the group, but he's always there. We were having a discussion one day at lunch, and I guess he just assumed that I was a Mormon, that I was the same, belief system that he was, because how could I not be? We were having this discussion, and I just kind of, offhand mentioned that I'm not a Mormon. And he just stops dead. Like, I told him I have 4 heads, and he's like, wait a minute. You're so smart. You're so informed on things. How can you not be a Mormon? And I just kind of, it reset my brain for a second, because I'm like, those things have nothing to do with each other. What does me being intelligent and informed on things and me not being a Mormon, what do those two things have in common? Why? They don't connect for me. Sure that they are. Yeah, I'm sure they're sorry, and I'm sure that I really don't give a damn. I had a fluff come out of my nose. Yeah, you can't see it because the camera stops like right here. But this is a black shirt, and it's covered in white dog hair. I don't own a single piece of clothing that doesn't have dog hair on it. Yeah. To be fair, they've told me the same thing. Yeah. When people say they pray for me, I started telling them I'll dance naked in the woods for them. Uh-huh. Yeah. Everyone has their own path. You can suggest ways, but ultimately it's their personal choice. It's the same thing, with martial arts. I can show you the door. You decide if you want to go through it. I don't push people through my door. So he asks me, well, then what do you believe? And again, I wasn't going to go through the whole explanation. So, shorthand, I'm just like, I'm Buddhist. And his face dropped like I just kicked a puppy. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. But he wasn't apologizing for assuming that I was Mormon. You could hear it in the tone. He was apologizing because, oh, well, this person's doomed. And then a few months later, he gives me a Christmas present of the Book of Mormon. Like that's going to sway me. I've read this book. I know what you believe. No, I wasn't going to go off on him like I wanted to. But, I just said thank you and I moved along with my day. But this person thought that now I was someone who needed to be saved. And here's this book. This book's going to explain it to you. Doesn't explain shit. It doesn't explain anything. I've read this book. I know what you believe. I've been to church. Nothing that this book tells me is going to fix me. The look I get when I tell folks I'm agnostic. Yeah. Sorry to hear that your soul is lost. Not lost, just searching. I'm not lost. I know exactly where I'm going. It's in a different direction from you. You might not like that. But that does not make my journey less true than yours. More of a naturalist, I can prove trees exist, and that's fine. I have never forced people. I've never gone to people's houses carrying friggin', and there goes all my books. I don't go to people's houses with this pocket copy of the Tao Te Ching and try and force them to believe what I believe. I bought this from the bookstore at my local college many years ago. And for the longest time, I told people this was my Bible. I have favorite passages, marked. But I don't go around to other people and say, hey, have you heard of the Tao Te Ching? Here, let me read this from you. Let me read from this for you. Let me explain it to you. No. If you find this, cool. Let's discuss it. But I'm not going to force you to. I'm not going to go to other countries and tell people this is the truth. This is the way. No. That's nonsense. And it's really, really annoying. That same uncle that basically browbeat my dad into having me baptized in the Mormon church at 13 years old sent every single one of his children on missions, forcing them to go to other countries to tell them, hey, all this stuff you believe? You're wrong. This is the truth. Everything that you believe for your entire life, stop believing that. Believe what I believe because this is the way. No. That's just annoying. You're being an asshole. Following the Eightfold Path works for me most of the time. Yeah. You follow the things that you follow. I will follow my path. You follow yours. If we reach the same destination, cool. If we don't, oh well. I just generally tell people who ask that I'm a Zen Baptist. I like the way their eyebrows curl up on their forehead trying to figure that one. Yeah. How about a pagan Mormon? Or no, not pagan. A Wiccan Mormon. Figure that one out for me. Because I haven't been able to. That is something that someone told me many, many years ago. He said he was a Wiccan Mormon. Explain that one to me. Because, yeah. Fun to make people buffer. That statement definitely made my brain go, what? I don't know. Those two, if you're going to combine two religions to make your own belief system, cool. But don't pick two things that contradict each other. It doesn't work. And while we're discussing Mormonism, the Book of Mormon can't exist. Yes, thank you. Just blue screened on the Wiccan Mormon. Thank you. This shit makes no sense. If you've read the Bible, which I have, the very end of the book tells you anyone who adds to the pages of this book shall face the plagues of this book. It's telling you that if you try to add to the Bible, you're just no. Okay? And then you have the Book of Mormon. What does the Book of Mormon call itself? Another testament. The Book of Mormon claims that everything in the Book of Mormon is all of the stuff that was left out of the Bible. So you're adding to the Bible with the Book of Mormon. It cannot exist based on your own belief system. Not terribly bright. Yeah. Wiccan Mormon. Interesting. Glad you can make that work for you. He didn't. He didn't make it work for him at all. Heard the musical is good. Yeah, well, all right. When I told him that the Bible, the end of the Bible, discounts the Book of Mormon existing, this person told me, I will believe that if you can show me in the Bible that's locked up in the Vatican, under guard, in Vatican City. So you're telling me that it's impossible for me to make you believe this? No, I'll believe it if you can show me in that one book. So if I can break into Vatican City, National Treasure style, and steal the Latin book that's under guard in the Vatican and show you that passage, you will believe me. That's impossible. No, it's not. Okay. Never mind then. But getting back to the last misconception, because we're 10 minutes to the end of the show. This one is not just Christians, not just outsiders. Yeah. Could he read Latin? No. Swiss guard would stop you, but Swiss guard would stop me before I got in the building. He couldn't read English. He couldn't write English either. I'm going to show everyone a picture here. And yes, enjoy your laughter. We're going to show people a picture. Carl, look at this picture and see if you can find out what's wrong with this picture. This is my altar. I have my singing bowl. Inside here is my mala, my prayer beads. I have a money tortoise. There's my lighter for lighting my incense. This bowl represents water. The coins, metal. There's my old moon bracelet. That is, well, it's actually a teacup, but I use it for, incense. That's for incense. There's a candle holder. This is another incense burner that has a bunch of pirate flags on it. Here is my Buddha laying on a crystal lotus. So, what is wrong with this picture? Donna says, my brother got baptized when my mom was in the nursing home. Our older brother had been baptized in his early 20s. Mom told me about Dave's baptism and then said, I'd like for all my children to be baptized. I told her it's like that song, 2 8 to 3 ain't bad. Yeah. If I'd have had a choice, no. Just no. So what's wrong with this picture? This guy right here. Other Buddhists and Christians have told me that's not Buddha. Why are you praying to that guy? Who's that guy? That's not Buddha. So many different ways of following the path, so I'm not sure any of it is wrong. Thank you. Buddha is not a person. It's a title. It means the enlightened one. Yes, the religion was started by an Indian prince named Bodhisattva. But he is not the Buddha. My friend was dating a girl who called herself a Buddhist. And she came into my house, my home, looked at my altar, and told me I was doing it wrong. Because I was not worshiping the Indian prince. I was not worshiping the person that she considered the Buddha. Your altar, you should have the images that mean the most to you. Yes. But this person had that image in their mind. This is the Buddha. Religion is a very personal thing. I do not judge anyone based on what they believe. It is who they are. Yes. This person tried to say that because I prayed to Buddha, the happy Buddha, that I was doing it wrong. Pretty sure other Norse folk would have a hissy fit because I have an Avon bottle shaped like a Viking ship. Hey! Do what you're going to do. Does it make you happy? Is it a thing that makes you feel the things that your religion is supposed to make you feel? Cool! Like the old lady with the memes on the wall. That's not how any of this works. See, she thought see if I can find All right, here we go. This is going to be fun. And that's why I have it there. Exactly. Here we go. Look at this. I search for Buddha statue. What's that? Sitting Buddha. Laughing Buddha. Happy sitting Buddha. Buddha hands up. But this person thought that unless I had this statue in my home, praying to it, worshiping it like a god, just like Carl was saying earlier, this was her god. This is what she worshipped. Unless you have this statue, you're doing it wrong. This one right here. She was telling me that I was wrong simply because my altar is pretty minimalistic, but it makes my soul happy and I feel I give the proper respect. That's all that matters. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, there's my pupper. Oh, baby. Yeah. She's coming to investigate. She's seen the big traffic Buddha on the mountain in Japan. Probably. But to come into someone else's home, tell them that they're doing it wrong, and then proceed to, of your own accord, go throughout their dwelling and sage everything to get rid of the bad Buddha spirit, which I don't like sage. I found out that day. Sage gets me high. And she had to go through my entire apartment to cleanse it. She had a marble stone statue outside of her home of Bodhisattva and claimed that's the only one you worship if you're a Buddhist. You don't worship it at all. Buddha is not the Buddhist God. You pray to him. You talk to him. You don't worship. Yeah, believe me, if I could have had... She was dating my roommate. But, oh, buddy. She was on a short leash after that one. Laughing that she's saging the area like some voodoo priestess. Yeah. Something else. Yeah. Don't do any kind of mojo in my house without permission. Believe me, I was tempted to go to her house with my laughing Buddha and my incense and pray over her house and just see how she likes it. Actions speak louder to who you are than anything you might claim to be. She claimed that she was a Buddhist. She claimed that she knew all of the doctrine of Buddhism. She was talking out her ass. It was trendy. Re-cleanse things after she left, put all our stuff back in order. Yes. And after that, like I said, she was on a short leash in this apartment. Don't go in my bedroom. Stay in your room with your boyfriend. Don't do shit in the living room. Don't do anything in the kitchen. You want to go in there and pray to your Indian prince? Is sage cleansing? No, it's not. Sage is a Wiccan thing. There are cleansing rituals in Buddhism. Usually sandalwood. Sage is a Wiccan thing. She just wanted to... Yeah, see? Sage is more Wiccan / indigenous. Yes. She just wanted to show off. She steps, 1 foot inside my apartment and goes, I can feel the evil spirits in here. No, you can't. There's a Bagua mirror right above that door right there. There's a broom on the wall right there. There's a piece of rose quartz right by the door. And I have 4 statues on this desk looking straight at the front door. Bad spirits are not welcome in my apartment, in my home. But you're going to come in here and say, I can sense the evil in here. No, you can't. Shut the hell up. Eye twitches intensify. Yeah. I don't even know if she's still around, if she still lives around here. But I would love to introduce this girl to the people in this chat. It would be entertaining. Oh, there are certain sects that believe in evil spirits. Not all of them. But there are certain sects that believe in evil spirits. She went to Saul. Oh, well, all right. Probably still drive by that house that she was renting, but... All right, so... those are most of the misconceptions I have run across. Now, we're a little bit over the hour. And I don't see any comments I missed. So, if anyone has any questions about my personal belief system, feel free to ask. And we'll see. People can have evil spirits, but not that other kind. And that's your belief system. Got to get going. Have a great Saturday night. Hope to see most of you on Stupid O'Clock and or Last Man Standing. And I will definitely be around for one of them, hopefully. Have a good one. Yes. People can have evil spirits. things can have spirits attached to them. Thank you. It's a great show. Thank you for coming. It really is a trip to me having so many people want to listen to me when I have these shows, considering the first 3 or 4, there was nobody here but me and Foxy. And occasionally, a couple of our friends on Discord. All right. Doesn't look like anybody has any questions. I have enjoyed having this discussion. Next show will be on the 30th. I already have an idea on what I may talk about. Good show. Have a good night. Really informative. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for listening. Great discussion. I'm glad. Up in the air. Like I said, if you're not okay, don't be okay. You don't have to put on a false bravado and if you're not okay, don't be okay. It's cool. Please remember to like. Yes. Weren't here because we didn't know about it. Yeah. A lot of people don't really know exactly what it is that Buddhists at large or me as an individual believe. And so I thought it was kind of important to put the information out there. But like I said, I have an idea of what I'm going to do on the 30th. It's going to be another more philosophical discussion. But if you want to know what it is, you're going to have to tune in to find out. Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for listening. Share, like, comment, all that lovely stuff. I am going to go and have some dinner. And might see some of you all later. And if not, 再见。